You cannot switch off, not really. You can lie down, you can go on holiday, you can sit somewhere beautiful with nothing at all that needs doing, and still, somewhere underneath, there's a hum. A low, quiet readiness that never fully goes quiet. As if something is always about to happen. This video is about that hum. Where it comes from. Why it doesn't switch off just because the situation is calm. And what it actually takes to teach it to settle. I'm Sokuntha. I spent over 20 years building a career across international corporate environments, reached director level, and then, quietly, gradually burnt out. I built the stability under pressure method from what I lived and from what I see now in every high-achieving woman I work with. By the end of this video, you'll understand that this is not anxiety, and it's not a flaw in you. It's a pattern that your body learned, and anything that was learned can be taught something new. So let me tell you what this actually looks like, because it doesn't look like panic. If you're operating at the level you're operating at, you've got far too much control over how you come across for it to ever look like panic. From the outside, you look calm, composed, completely fine. It's on the inside that the thing is running. It's not being able to fully switch off, even when there's genuinely nothing to do, on a holiday, on a Sunday, in the middle of the night, when nothing is wrong and nothing needs you. It's someone giving you a small piece of feedback and feeling yourself tighten before they've even finished the sentence. It's a calm moment that feels, honestly, a little suspicious, as if the stillness is just a gap between problems and not something you actually allow it to sit inside. And underneath all of it, this quiet bracing, as if something is always slightly about to go wrong. That is not you being dramatic. That is a body that has learned to stay ready. I want to tell you about a moment that showed me this in myself. I'd left corporate. I'd handled my notice. And a few months later, I certified as a coach. And not long after, I co-facilitated my very first in-person workshop. In front of us, the management team of a well-known company, a reputable one, the kind of room where you want to be good. And next to me was my trainer, the man who had trained me to become a coach in the first place. Out of everyone in my cohort, all of us freshly certified, he had chosen me to stand up there and to co-facilitate with him. Not another student, me. So think about that for a second. I was in a safe room with someone I trusted completely, someone who had shown me in the clearest way possible how much he believed in me. At the end of the first day, we sat down to debrief, and he gave me some feedback. I honestly can't even remember what it was now. That's how not of a big deal it was. It was an ordinary, useful kind of feedback that you give someone who's doing something for the very first time. And I felt myself tighten. I felt the heat come up. The urge to explain myself, to defend myself, to justify, before my mind had even caught up to remind me, this is safe, this is a friend, this is help, not attack. My body had already decided it was under threat. And here's what I understand now, looking back. That reaction has nothing to do with him, nothing to do with that room, or that feedback, or that day. That reaction belongs to somewhere else entirely. Before I left corporate, I'd spent a long stretch of time working for someone who made every single day feel like something I had to survive. where feedback wasn't feedback. It was an attack on whether I was good enough to be there at all. Where I learned without even deciding to walk into every interaction already braced for impact. That was the training. Day after day, my body learned one lesson very well. Pressure means danger. Get ready. And by the time I was standing in that workshop room, the man was long gone from my life. The danger was gone. But the program was still running. That's the part I really want you to understand. Your body doesn't update itself because your situation has changed. It learned to keep you safe in conditions that were genuinely hard. And it's still doing that job faithfully in rooms that don't need it anymore. So when you feel yourself bracing in a moment that doesn't deserve it, it's not you being too sensitive. It's a system that learned to protect you, still trying to protect you from something that isn't there anymore. It matters because a body that's always braced is spending an enormous amount of energy on being ready. Every ordinary decision costs more than it should. Every small interaction carries more weight than it needs to. Every tiny bit of uncertainty gets treated like a real threat. And you can hold that for years. You have. But there's a cost that keeps quietly adding up in the background. And at some point, that bill arrives. A lot of time, what we call burnout is simply that bill coming due. If any of this landed for you, I want to point you to something. Every month, I run a live experience called Stable Under Pressure 5-Day Challenge. 5 days where we do this work together, 1 hour per day, naming the pattern, understanding where it comes from, and beginning to build something steadier underneath. If you want to join, you'll find more details in the description below. So what actually changed this? Let me tell you what doesn't first. Thinking about it differently doesn't. You can understand every word of what I've just said completely, and your body will still brace tomorrow. Because this was never living in your thoughts. It's not a breathing exercise, though breathing has its place. It's not a holiday, though rest matters. It's slower than that and quieter. It's the work of teaching your body through repetition that safety is actually available now. That stillness is not a threat. That you don't have to earn your way to feeling secure, to performing, because your security was never really about your output in the first place. And that work doesn't happen in your head. It happens in your body, in your actual life, in the repeated experience of holding your standards without that old alarm going off every time you do. That's the work underneath all the other work. And in my experience, it's the piece that changes everything else. You are not broken. You are running a program that kept you safe once and simply never got told it could stop. And you are allowed to teach it something new. If this resonated, subscribe. There's more where these come from. Understanding your patterns is the beginning of your power. No one owns you.